Do you remember back in the early days of YouTube where the number one thing that you'd see all over YouTube and really all over the internet was vlog content? It was a much simpler time, and I think nobody really encapsulated and profited off of that form of content more than the Vlog Squad. And we all thought that that kind of content and that empire would last for like 1,000 years. But much like Rome, it too came to an end, and it came down in a blaze of fire and blood. It is not pretty what it looks like now. So the reason I'm making this video, and I'm sure most people know why at this point, is because on the lovely app of TikTok, which we all have and which we all know, all very well familiar with, there is one member of the old Vlog Squad that is now just constantly streaming on the platform, and that is Jason Nash. But it's a big difference than what you might be thinking, because it's not like streaming for like entertainment per se. He isn't really providing anything when he does these streams. A lot of it is begging, and it's really, really sad to see. And even though Jason's the center of attention right now, it's not fair to put all the spotlight on him, because it is something that I'm seeing with multiple members of the Vlog Squad, and it really kind of shows a really sad picture when it comes to that group of friends, and that's the fact that they have just completely disintegrated and evaporated. They're just gone. And where they all are now is not pretty. It's not pretty to look at where they all are at. For one, David Dobrik's just gone. He's just disappeared off the internet. I think the only thing he really does now is like Snapchat stories and also just podcasts. And you know, cool, he's doing that kind of stuff, but it's not the same as what he was and the titan of industry that he used to be. And I think that kind of exemplifies the actual problem that's going on here. There's an old expression called putting all your eggs in one basket. And that is exactly what happened to the Vlog Squad. Because the thing is, everybody that was in the Vlog Squad, they did bring something to the table. They had their own unique personalities, is the best way to put it. And yes, some more than others, some didn't really provide a whole lot, but there were some that had like genuine talent. But they ran into the problem of relying and leeching off of David. And once David's career came down in a giant blaze of glory, so did everybody else. Now, there are a couple exceptions to that rule, like Jeff went off on his own thing. Not really by choice, he kind of got screwed over by everybody in that group when he smashed his face into a crane, and then nobody would take his side. But he's all good now, he's off doing his own thing, and he's just watching as all the people that he used to hang out with now are just, well, they're all kind of doing nothing now. I think Natalie's doing like modeling or something like that. I don't really know. Karina's just, you know, it's Karina Comp. She was doing fine before, she's doing fine after. And Alex got really lucky and really just managed to completely cut himself off from that entire thing. And I think he is still friends with David Dobrik, but not to the extent that he was, or at least not interacting with him the way that he used to. But I think nobody got the worst end of the stick more than Jason, and also Jonah. Because Jonah is also doing the same thing that Jason is doing, which is these TikTok lives where he's just in front of the camera and really not doing anything. And bear in mind, I don't have a problem with TikTok Live. I don't see a problem with that kind of content because it's different. But at the same time, it's no different than streaming on Twitch or streaming on YouTube. It's just on a different platform. And yes, most of the streams that are on TikTok are just people filming, you know, what they're doing. A lot of them are in real life kind of vlogs, and you know, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's also a really unfortunate thing that happens with these TikTok lives, and that's when they just stand in front of the screen and beg for money, not really providing anything. And you know, sure, if it works, it works. But it's just not a really pretty thing to see, people in front of a camera begging for money. Like, yes, come on, give me that emoji, give me that emoji. Galaxy, I got a galaxy. It's just not a pretty look. And it's especially not pretty for Jason, because Jason is, he's up there. He's up there in age. He's also got 2 kids. And you know, it's just a really unfortunate and sad thing to see. But for me, the thing that bugs me the most is because of all the people that were a part of that group, Jason was one of the ones that I personally thought had the most potential, because he was actually genuinely funny. And yeah, he was used as a punching bag a lot in David Dobrik's videos as like a prop, but he had a lot more potential than that. In fact, I remember on this podcast called Two Bears, One Cave with Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer, you know, big comedians, big names in the comedy industry. I remember them saying that they thought that Jason, if he went off and did his own thing and did his own stand-up comedy, that he would be able to make it, which is extremely high praise from 2 people who have themselves made it really, really big in the industry. But bringing it back all the way to where we just started, it's the problem of Jason just being so attached to David that he wasn't really able to get his feet off the ground. You know, it's kind of hard to get out of somebody's shadow once you're already a part of that shadow, especially when that person has a really, really big name. It's also kind of shocking that throughout this entire thing, we haven't really heard a lot from David. And bear in mind, I don't think it's fair for David to provide for every single member of his vlog squad. I don't think that's possible or really even reasonable. He has no responsibility to provide for everybody's lives. But at the same time, I feel like he could be doing a lot more than what he's doing. Because listen, if you're begging on TikTok, you're not in a great place. You're just not. It really is just an unfortunate situation to see, and especially with, yeah, I don't know, man. I used to watch David Dobrik, and while I really did enjoy his 4-minute, 20-second vlogs, like what was it, every day, every couple days, I never really liked David. I always thought that there's something just kind of off about him. I don't know if it's just I don't know if it's the laugh where he's like, like panting like a dog. I don't know if that's the thing that bugged me. I don't know if it's kind of the psychopathic things that he would put his friends through. I don't know. But regardless, he managed to make quite a pretty penny off of everything that he was doing, and then he just kind of poof. And with the head off the snake, there's really not much that the body can do. And again, it's not all tragedy. Some people have gone off to do their own things. Some people are still with David for some reason. And you know, good for them. They want to stay with David, they can stay with David. And then some people are just kind of cast to the side, and some people are just struggling to make money. And that's especially Jonah, and that's especially Jason. All of this to say, I do hope that this TikTok streaming thing that Jason and some other people in the vlog squad are doing, I really hope that they stop, because it is just, you can't sustain yourself on begging for money. Eventually people are going to get sick of the stuff and they're just not going to donate anymore. Also, Jason is a father of 2. So he has 2 kids that he still has to take care of, and I guarantee you that that money is not going to come from TikTok Live. All in all, today and these past couple weeks have really just kind of shown the tragic downfall of the vlog squad and where, you know, everybody is now, and more so just how important it is to go off on your own and not be stuck with one person. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. And when it comes to Jason, I hope that he manages to find himself a more lucrative and more stable source of income, and I hope he finds some level of success and goes off on his own and just really make the most of life, you know? That's what I hope, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. But that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, if indeed you still are. My name is Brockster, and I bid you all adieu.